All right, we will begin our meeting with the pledge for anyone wishing to participate. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call this meeting to order. This is Morgantown City Council's regular meeting for Tuesday, November 25th. It is 7:05 p.m. and we will ask Clerk Wade to please call the roll.
Yes. Joe Bugon. Jody Hollingshead.
Here.
Wheezy Michael.
Here.
Jenny Celine.
Here.
Mark Downs.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Butcher.
Here.
Mayor Trumbull.
Here. We now have approval of minutes. We have both the November 4th, 2025 special meeting minutes and November 4th, 2025 regular meeting minutes that were circulated. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, we'll approve by consensus.
Yes.
Yes? Great. Correspondence. Clerk Wade, do you have any correspondence?
No, Mayor.
Councilor Michael, you have some correspondence?
I do. This past week, Morgantown, the city of Morgantown was ranked nationally and annually among the LGBTQ plus equality index, which is called the MEI. And I just wanted to give a brief update on our scores and a little history. The HRC is the national largest LGBTQ civil rights organization and the driving force behind the annual publication of the Municipal Equality Index, the only nationwide assessment that rates cities on their effort toward non-discrimination laws, policies as employer, municipal services, law enforcement, and leadership in the LGBTQ plus community. This year's index, MEI, saw 132 of 506 cities surveyed achieved a perfect score of 100. Morgantown, West Virginia, is the only representative in this state to get into this category this year. However, the 100 is the maximum official total points for the cities. There are also accumulate up to 22 flex points awarded for efforts like testing the limits of restricted state laws or providing single occupancy, all gender facilities, among many others. Morgantown ended up 115, up from 110 in 2024, and a low of 42 when the MEI was initiated more than a decade ago. This year's total puts Morgantown in the top 3% nationally, tying 6 other cities with the 9th highest total overall. Morgantown's MEI score has been a year-long focus for the Morgantown Human Rights Commission and the chair, Annie Cronin York. She has logged over 150 hours of volunteering putting this year's report together, and I would like to thank her for all her efforts. That said, the numbers that we ranked this year, the cities scoring higher than Morgantown, only higher than Morgantown, were Madison, Wisconsin, Boulder, Colorado, New York, Seattle, Palm Springs, Virginia Beach, Denver, and Arlington County, Virginia. West Virginia cities that were included in this survey were Morgantown, Charleston, Huntington, Wheeling, Charlestown, Lewisburg, and Parkersburg, and Morgantown ranked number 1. So I'd like to just say that's a very proud for our city and our LGBTQ community. And I'd just like to thank the Human Rights Commission and Annie for all her hard work. That's all.
Certainly. Annie is not with us this evening. She is traveling, but we all extend our gratitude for the work that she put in and extra work after the initial assessment, and she represented our city very well. So we are grateful to her and the work of the HRC. Any other correspondence to share? Seeing none. This evening we have 3 public hearings on our agenda. The first public hearing is an ordinance of the City of Morgantown amending the zoning classification of one parcel of real estate on East Brockway Avenue from R1A Single Family Residential District to R2 Single and Two Family Residential District. I'll open this public hearing. If there's anyone wishing to speak on this item and this item alone, now is your time. Seeing none, we will close that public hearing. The next is an ordinance of the City of Morgantown amending the zoning classification of 3 parcels of real estate business near Hartman Run Road from I-1 Industrial District to B2 Service Business District. We'll open this public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close that public hearing. The last this evening is an ordinance amending Section 1367, Table 1367.11.01 as it pertains to the approved street and tree shrub list in the Planning and Zoning Code. We'll open this public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Thought we had someone. Seeing none, we will close that public hearing and move on to unfinished business. Our unfinished business this evening is boards and commissions. I believe we have a number of appointments. If we want to start at Councilor Abou-Ghanem, and we'll just go down the line.
Sure. I would like to nominate Mr. Dan Brown for reappointment to the tree board.
Second.
Thank you.
If I may also nominate Abigail Olaose Beacon to the Health and Wellness Committee as well.
Second.
And both of those by consensus?
Yes.
Great. Councilor Michael, do you have one?
I don't.
Okay, Jude?
I'd like to nominate Scott Frederick for appointment to the Parking Authority.
Second?
Thank you. By consensus? Yes. All right, Councilor Slim?
I would like to nominate John Weems to the tree board.
Second.
Thank you. Consensus? Fantastic.
I'll nominate Peter Demaskers for reappointment to the Planning Commission from 6th Ward.
Second.
Thank you. Approved by consensus? Yes. And Deputy Mayor Butcher?
Would like to nominate Gail Taylor to the Cultural Arts Commission.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Yes. Did we miss anyone? That's the list that I had. All right, seeing no other unfinished business, we will move into our public portion. Public portion is subject to rules established by council, which is essentially, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. You have 4 minutes to speak. Please no personal attacks. There was a sign-up sheet. No one is signed up on it, but if there is anyone wishing to speak, now is your time. Seeing none, we will move along. We have no special committee reports. The next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. I will read each item on the consent agenda. If there is any item that any member of council wishes to pull off of the consent agenda, they may do so at that time, and it will be considered under new business. Otherwise, these are all voted on together. Item A, consideration of approval of second reading of an ordinance of the City of Morgantown amending the zoning classification of 1 parcel of real estate on East Brockway Avenue from R1A, Single Family Residential District, to R2, Single and 2 Family Residential District. The first reading was October 7th, 2025. Item B, consideration of approval of a second reading of an ordinance of the City of Morgantown amending the zoning classification of 3 parcels of real estate business near Hartman Run Road from I1 Industrial District to B2 Service Business District. The first reading was also October 7th, 2025. Item C, consideration of approval of second reading of an ordinance amending Section 1367, Table 1367.11.01 as it pertains to the approved street and tree shrub list in the Planning and Zoning Code, the first reading of which was on October 7th, 2025. Item D, consideration of approval of a resolution to reaffirm commitment to greenhouse gas reductions in support of the Paris Climate Agreement. And item E, consideration of approval of a resolution designating certain individuals authorized agents of the City of Morgantown for the purpose of transacting funds with banking and financial institutions. Is there any member of council wishing to pull any item off of the consent agenda?
Pull item B off of the consent agenda.
Item B will be moved to new business. Is there a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda?
I'll move to approve the items on the items A, C, D, and E on the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Clerk Wade?
Second.
Joe Bugan,
Yes.
Jody Hollingshead,
Yes.
Weezy Michael,
Yes.
Jenny Celine,
Yes.
Mark Downs,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Trumbull.
Yes, passes 7-0. We move into new business. We will first take up the item from the consent agenda, consideration of approval of second reading of an ordinance of the City of Morgantown amending the zoning classification of 3 parcels of real estate business near Hartman Run Road from I-1 Industrial District to B2 Service Business District. The first reading was October 7th, 2025.
And at this time, I will recuse myself from the proceedings due to ongoing litigation with Dave Biafor, just to avoid any impropriety out of an abundance of caution on this item and their related relation to that item. So I'll be out of the room. If someone wants to grab me once you're done, that'd be great.
We will let you know.
All right, thank you.
Do we need a discussion on the presentation on this item?
I would open, this item, as mentioned, was presented on the first reading of item 10/7/2025. Staff is here to answer any further questions council would like addressed.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve item B associated with amending the zoning classification of 3 parcels of real estate business near Hartman Run Road from I-1 Industrial District to B2 Service Business District.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Clerk White?
Joe Buchanan,
Yes.
Jody Hollingshead,
Yes.
Weezy Michael,
Yes.
Jenny Celine,
Yes.
Mark Downs,
Yes.
Mayor Trumbull.
Yes, that passes 6-0 with 1 abstention. We will call Deputy Mayor Butcher back in. We will continue on with our new business. The next item is consideration of approval of bid call 2026-01 for the 2025 street improvement project to Parada Paving Company for the base bid amount of $803,180.50 and alternate 1 North High Street reconstruction for $152,757.50 for a total contract amount of $955,938.
Thank you, Mayor. We have Director of Engineering Public Works, Damian Davis, will present on this item.
Hello, how you doing tonight? As this, you can see, bid call 01, this project's kind of late. There's probably about 5 or 6 other projects that have gone out since that one. We named that one 01. As part of that, we were doing about 6 miles of roadway. The roads that are in your packet. Likely, roads probably won't get started till spring, but we are going to work with the contractor, talk to them depending on weather, and see if we can get started on North High Street immediately. That'll be our main priority with trying to get that done this season, depending on the weather. That road's in pretty rough shape. We've been kind of kicking it down the road as all the utilities have slowly got their things replaced, and WVU got their steam lines and their steam tunnel fixed. And so now finally everybody else is done with their projects and we can get started with ours on that side. So we're going to try to get to that hopefully before the winter sets in, and that road will be a real mess otherwise. So any questions on the project, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions for Director Davis?
If you would mention some of the other projects that happened this year, I think that's useful for people to kind of understand some of the kind of sticky, difficult projects that were accomplished prior to the paving program, and then also how this affects next year's paving program and when we might get that out so that we can kind of keep on track for getting our paving done.
That's a good point, because yes, it's one of the reasons why this was, it's been delayed. This has been a busy year. We did a lot of great projects this year. try to name them all. We did finished up North Street, the widening of North Street and sidewalk there. We finished up First Street Campus Drive relocation. We're in the process of getting close to finishing up the White Park Bridge that was set last week. The beams for it were. We are finalizing setting the last bridge in the Flegel Reservoir, the new 50-acre reservoir. That's being set as well, which is 2.5 miles of trail around that. Was done as well. 3 bridges as part of that project. We are in the process of renovating City Garage, $3 million renovation at City Garage. Remediation projects at City Garage, White Park, as well. As part of the reason, one of the reasons why this was slow too was we were doing an assessment of all the roadways and sidewalks in the city, trying to base our determinations of why we're paving these streets based on the data. That kind of was slow. A lot of it was because of us. We're trying to save money, so we did a lot of stuff in-house versus letting our consultant do that to try to save money on those projects, and took us longer to do some of those, reviewing those data and getting stuff back to the consultant on that, because there's a lot of review, trying to review 100 miles of roadways and double the sidewalks. I think we did accomplish a lot this year. We did
Yeah,
do a lot of good
almost like
projects.
you've already done a whole paving project.
Yeah, and with the paving, your second question was how will this affect
Yeah.
next year's paving? It shouldn't affect next year's paving. This came in a little under budget, what we anticipated. We anticipated a little more, so we're going to take the rest of this money. This will and put this into an ADA project that we've been kind of kicking around to figure out how to with one of the complications we've had lately with being able to pave so many roads. So it's a good problem to have. Having in the past we had a budget of 300,000, so it wasn't such an issue. But now that we're paving 6 miles of roadway, we have to update all those ADA ramps at the same time, and so it becomes a problem where the concrete contractor and the asphalt contractor are bumping into each other, and so we're kicking around making those 2 different projects now. So this will be all paving, and we'll come back in and do ADA ramps at a separate time as a separate project. So those 2 contractors aren't bumping into each other. And so we're going to try to do that again next year as well. Put out a paving project, put out an ADA project, and kind of stagger those where, and so they'll be working on different areas. So that's one of our thoughts.
So this
Great.
may not be done until the beginning of 2026, but we will still have fall of 2026 and regular paving.
Yes, the regular paving or our 2026 paving project will still go out as normal.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was very impressed with some of the working on very difficult areas.
And while all that was going on too, I was acting city manager and permit tech and director of public
We
works.
did notice that.
So
You didn't have that much going on. I mean, it's fine.
we were busy this year. Any other questions?
Questions for Director Davis? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Damon, do you have an anticipation date for the North Street?
So North Street or North High Street?
I'm sorry, North High Street.
North High Street, I'm going to be talking to the contractor tomorrow after this is approved and start working on with the schedule.
So do you have to take all the bricks out?
Yes.
Or are you paving over top of it?
We're taking all the bricks out, building it back up from scratch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna be brick, right?
No, it's not.
Not gonna be resetting brick? Oh,
No. We
okay.
do not have enough for the bricks to put back, because mostly, if you go out there now, that road is more asphalt patch than it is brick.
Yeah, right.
And so,
I knew there was.
We are gonna save the bricks.
A desire to put it back as brick, but I didn't,
we do
wasn't
have a
sure.
project coming up, potentially, where we're gonna redo the intersection down below at Prospect. And we're looking at potentially doing a raised intersection there, and we're gonna use the bricks from North High Street in that intersection. to
Good.
raise
We're
it up
saving
there.
bricks.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, that's part of the project is, the contractor's responsible to take them out, palletize them, and then we'll take them back to City Garage and store them there. Yeah. Save as many as we can,
Great.
there will be some loss, but
Sure.
we're gonna save as many as we can.
thanks.
Great. Thank
Anything
you.
else?
No.
But as soon as I get a schedule, I'll let
Okay.
council know.
So this next semester, probably more than likely.
I'm hoping to get started as soon as possible on this, yeah. So hopefully if we can, talking with the contractor a little bit, they thought they can get on it real quick, and they didn't think it would take them, 2 to 3 weeks to do that project, so.
Is that something that can be done in the winter? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at least if we have a mild winter, if it's 2 feet of snow, no. And as long as the asphalt plants are open to it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, the asphalt plant.
Yeah.
So, okay, thanks, Damien.
Yep.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Seeing none?
Joe Buchanan,
Yes?
Jody Hollingshead,
Yes.
Weezy Michael,
Yes?
Jenny Celine,
Yes.
Mark Downs.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Trumbull.
Yes, passes 7-0. Next item was item B, I guess maybe now C, I don't know. Consideration of a letter of support for Light Project Syringe Services Program.
Thank you, Mayor. We have Laura Jones here, the Executive Director of Mylan Postcard Health Right, pardon me.
Good evening.
Hello.
Since I saw you last, I now need reading glasses. I think most of you know me, but I am Laura Jones. I'm the Executive Director at Mylan Pushkar Health Right, and I have been at Health Right for the last 25 years. And thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. As you know, every year the LIGHT Project, which stands for Living Together in Good Health, requires approval from the city and the county in order to continue its work. This year we celebrated our 10-year anniversary of harm reduction program in action in this August. And just as a reminder, harm reduction with syringe access is a public health program designed to minimize or decrease infectious disease in our community, HIV, Hep C, MRSA, endocarditis, all things that people who are injecting drugs can end up experiencing, and all things that cost our healthcare system also a lot of money. This year, we hired a former employee of the Friendship House who we believe is going to be a great asset to our program. He's going to be our program manager. His name is Michael Hunt. And he came from a job where he has been working with the Coalition to End Homelessness on helping people find housing. And that has been, aside from his experience at Friendship House, also his work with that group will really lend itself to the work that he's doing at the LIGHT Project. We also hired an excellent nurse practitioner who has experience having worked at the health department, and she is working on Wednesday evenings during the LIGHT Project to assist with wound care and any other medical issues that people have, and making medical referrals, which is really helpful to the program. We are participating with WVU's Positive Health Clinic, who will be doing the December 1st HIV World AIDS Day, and they will be at our clinic doing free HIV testing for anyone in the community. A lot of our folks from the harm reduction program show up then to get HIV testing and Hep C testing, so we're excited about having them there. And our clinic sponsors those kinds of screenings in our waiting room. We don't actually do the screening in the waiting room, but you get checked in our waiting room, and we just recently tested approximately 25 people for Hep C, and 5 of them were positive. So it's important for us to be doing those screenings in our community. All of that is done as part of LIGHT Project and the clinic jointly. There are times at the LIGHT Project when people are in a hurry to get what they need and get out, so they don't always stop and spend time for an HIV or an Hep C test. So we try to offer that at other more convenient times. And we also try to offer incentives for that as well. Sometimes gift cards, sometimes chocolate seems to be a really good incentive for people. Snacks, you know. So we've done that multiple times this year. Our request for approval would be also for our current site and for our soon-to-be move to 10 Scott Avenue. We have to resubmit when we move all our policies and procedures because they have to be amended in some ways. But essentially the same program will happen up there as is happening here. As far as moving goes, our final act was to apply to the Office of Health Facilities licensure to become a licensed behavioral health center. We have been able to file that application. The rules of that application state that you cannot be in the building seeing patients when you apply if you're moving to a new building. So that's what part of the holdup is. We can't see anyone in that facility until we are licensed as a behavioral health center. We are waiting for them to call us and tell us they're coming for a site visit. And as soon as they do that, they should be able to issue, hopefully we've got everything in place for them to issue a provisional license, and then we will be moving. I hope that their visit will happen sometime in early December. We turn our application in the very end of October. So, and there's a lot that goes in along with this application. I can't even tell you the number of policies that had to be written or rewritten and revised for a new building and everything that went into that. So we're confident that if we get this visit, that we will get that provisional licensure or be close enough that we can easily get up to standard and then be able to move in. So just in case you're wondering. Now, I know you all also received information about the numbers of the program. And I'm happy to report that last year we were at 79% return rate for syringes. And this year we are at 87% return rate. Our goal is somewhere between 85 and 90. So we're doing very well with that. Also, the numbers, if you look at new intakes that we had in the last year, the bulk of them come from Mon County. There's some Preston County and Marion County in there as well, but most of the new folks that are coming in are from Mon County. We are getting fewer calls to pick up syringes in the community. Doesn't mean we haven't gotten any, but we are getting much fewer. I know that I think last year we got several calls to help clean out some of the buildings that were going to be demolished. And there were a lot of syringes in those buildings. But sometimes they were actually in syringe containers, so, or some of them. We continue to give out all the supplies people need that could be contaminated with HIV or Hep C or some other infectious disease. And we also give out, we gave out 3,000 doses of naloxone last year, which is Narcan, which is huge. Our number of overdoses has decreased fairly dramatically since 2021, which was our peak of overdose. And the reasons for that could be many reasons. A change in the drug supply. It could also be related to the number of naloxone, the amount of naloxone that's getting out to the community. But as far as we are aware, Morgantown and Mon County have not yet had an HIV case related to IV drug use. And so we hope that our program will continue to survive and continue to be able to provide the services that are so necessary for the folks in our community. Our numbers are higher than last year, but still remain low. We had a high of 1,300 people back in the early days of the program. And I think the decrease in folks has to do with the change in the law and also the fact that more and more people have gotten into treatment and have been successful in staying in treatment. You will notice that of the new intakes this year, 184 of them had been in treatment before. So we also know that treatment is not a one and done. It often takes many times before people are successful. And that's why our program is so important, because we want them to stay healthy until they're ready for treatment again. Our goal as a harm reduction program is not necessarily to force people into treatment. We don't agree with that. We strongly believe that we are to help empower people to make that decision on their own. And that's what we continue to do. Any questions?
Questions
Concerns?
for Laura?
I mean, Laura, you answered, I mean, you alluded to answers in line with some of the just, it's not necessarily a question, but if you feel like sharing any more data associated with just making some observations about the two charts here, the decline in both returns and distributions, and the linear decline over time, that's going down. That's good to see, presumably.
Yes.
Assuming that's associated with people not reusing needles and just foregoing the program. But it doesn't look like that, because the top chart is fairly flat in terms of engagements and program visits.
Right.
So I was deducing what you said, that perhaps more people are getting into treatment, or there was some other causal agent that was driving the returns and distributions down.
Yeah, I think, well, you also see that spike in April where the number went up. And so what happens a lot of times is the numbers are a little bit lower in the wintertime, and then the weather gets good and we see a spike of people coming in. And oftentimes those folks are new people. And so we give out a lot more when new people come in, because they don't have any to bring back usually. They may have them, but they don't necessarily bring them back when they come as an intake. The other thing I think is that because our program is no longer completely anonymous, and you are required to show ID, that there are some people who, and that's because of the new law, there are a lot of people who will just not do that.
When did that take effect?
2021. And that also, we're seeing, it's been a lot more difficult for people to get to us from Preston and Marion and Harrison County. There's a big decrease in the number of people coming from those counties as well. It was never huge, but it has definitely decreased.
Yeah, but even in the last 12 months,
Yeah.
there's a noticeable trend in the number of folks using the program, and I hope that that's an encouraging sign.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Sure.
But there are a lot, like I said last year, there are a lot of avenues to treatment, and the harm reduction program is just one of them. And That's not our main goal.
Sure, sure.
So people get to treatment through a lot of other avenues, including counselors and social workers and people on the street who,
Sure.
with
This
lived
is
experience.
just one avenue for engagement.
Right.
You have,
So yes, I hope that it's because there are more people in treatment.
thank you.
Other questions for Laura?
What are the other programs across the state that run similarly to yours that are actual harm reduction programs?
All of the programs across the state are located in health departments. Most of them, so Marion County no longer has a harm reduction program. Harrison County no longer has a harm reduction program, but they closed many years ago.
Yeah.
Huntington has a very strong harm reduction program, and they have made the decision to stop syringe access this year, primarily because of funding issues. So the health departments are under a great deal of funding strain. And the only thing that you cannot, well, not the only thing, but one of the only things you cannot use federal dollars for is syringes. So if you can't come up with money from other sources to pay for syringes, that ends up being a big cost. They give out more syringes than we do right now. And so they have made the decision to stop that starting in mid-December. Not because they want to end that part of the program, but because they do not feel that they're financially able to do that.
In Charleston?
Charleston has a functioning program through their health right down there. Fayette County Health Department has one. Ohio County Health Department has one. I believe Mingo had started one a few years ago. The harm reduction program in the free clinic in Charleston goes to several, I'm losing my voice, goes to several counties in the south below them. So that's, they're still in operation. The federal government is not looking as positive on harm reduction as it was during the president's first series. Thank you. Thanks. During the president's first term. So we're not real sure what's going to happen after this year, but we search for grants everywhere you can possibly think of to help support our program and pay for our syringes. And so I hope that in the future there won't be any major changes to what we're doing.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion on the letter of support for the light project?
I make a motion. Second.
Thank you. First by Councilor Michaels, second by Councilor Abergano. Additional discussion?
I think it's a great program.
Let's call the roll.
Clerk Wade.
Joe Bugano?
Yes.
Jody Hollingshead?
Yes.
Weezy Michael?
Yes.
Jenny Celine?
Yes.
Mark Downs?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Butcher?
Yes.
Mayor Trumbull?
Yes, passes 7-0.
Thank you so much.
Brings us to the end of our new business and into our city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have several items tonight. The first one is related to the Pickup by Republic, with Thanksgiving being this Thursday. The Thursday and Friday services will be slid to Friday and Saturday services. We also have a home football game on Saturday morning, so they will start their services earlier than usual. So they will be sending out communication to their customers, but wanted to make you all aware of that upcoming change as well. Next item I wanted to mention, and certainly anytime we have a new member join the team, it's worth celebrating, and we have a lot of employees who do a lot of great things, but I did want to particularly highlight the fact that we did have our new planner, Seth Cardwell, join the team in development services last week. The reason I want to specifically call out that item is because that position has been vacant for an extended period of time, and we recognize that the Development Services Department has a lot of initiatives, a lot of need for process improvement, looking at timelines and potential changes in regulations that we'd like to see move forward. So having this position on board, we're hopeful that we will see some of those initiatives move forward. But as we create our path for how we go forward, I would like to solicit some additional council input on what does that path forward look like. We want to ensure that we're creating an environment that shows we are open for business. We want to prioritize initiatives, and we want to evaluate our resources. So I will be reaching out to you all to schedule one-on-one meetings with staff so that we can discuss the experiences that you all have heard, and as we start to formulate a plan of where we put our efforts in the next year related to development services. So please be on the lookout for those times.
Great.
Also spoke with Mark with Catholic Charities today. Have a small update on the warming shelter, just so you all are aware that that continues to move forward. They are pushing forward as aggressively as possible with the goal to see how much can they shorten that window to open a few days earlier with each step, recognizing that it is getting colder, but
It's cold.
Yes, so they are doing what they can to move quickly. I'm not sure it will be more than a couple of few days if they're able to get there, but they are actively interviewing for their temporary employees. They received approximately 35 applications. They are not waiting, they are interviewing as those come in, but they do have, the position requires thorough background checks, so it takes a little bit longer as a time ramp to get them onboarding. They are purchasing this week items such as sheets, towels, washcloths, totes, so that shows you that we're just kind of at the end of wrapping those things up. The folks at West Run have indicated that the renovations are going well, still looking to get a date on the schedule next week for a potential on-site visit to see those renovations, but the report is that they are going well. And then related to transportation, they've coordinated some community volunteers related to transportation, but they've also identified a potential source of funding that could be used or considered for allocation if they could work with the Mountain Lion for a van to run some services. So that discussion is occurring as well, but has not been finalized. So wanted to make sure to bring those updates to you all as I hear them. Staff is also making some preparation. We anticipate to install some additional lighting downtown this year for the holiday season in the trees. We don't have electricity at every tree currently, so we will do a combination of the trees and the sidewalk lights, but we're looking forward to moving forward with plan there. We do plan to remove the lights when we remove the holiday decorations, so we will not be leaving them on the tree all year long in order to reduce the potential for harm to the tree. And then we will certainly evaluate the impact to the trees as we say, how do we move forward next year after this first year? So looking forward to seeing how that turns out, and thanks staff for the work they've already started diving into it. Damien's already looking at the lights and sending that over, so thank you. And last thing, just in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to council, to our staff, the community as a whole. The work we do is not always easy, but it certainly is valuable and meaningful, and it contributes to the beauty of Morgantown. So I'm grateful to the professionalism and the compassion that's shown by everybody who is involved in considering the well-being of Morgantown, and I'm proud to be on this team. So just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you all have a wonderful time with family or loved ones, however you spend the holiday.
Thank you. City Clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sorry, hold on a second. It looks like
yeah,
Councilor
can I-
Downs is about to speak.
Yeah, can I, thanks. Jamie, thanks for the report. I'm curious about the Mountain Lion conversations. Those seem to be going on. It's taking a long time.
Yes,
And, I mean, you know, how do you feel about how those are gonna, you know, turn out? Anything that you need from us?
I don't, so certainly the approach was to start with how the bus line the current bus line could be transitioned, and the answer was that that's really not feasible. So Cassidy with the Coalition to End Homelessness is really having those direct conversations and what we're supporting. So it's hard for me to gauge whether or not we feel, right now they're in a waiting pattern. So certainly we can always engage to encourage it is helpful. But at this point, I don't have a strong sense of whether that will be a successful endeavor or not.
Okay, thanks. Any other indication about whether or not how do we feel about opening sooner than middle of December?
I do get the sense that likely they are targeting for a couple of days earlier, but I don't anticipate that they will be ready to go, say, for example, December 1. But we continue to reiterate our desire to push the timeline up as much as possible.
And any other engagement with H3 about an alternative solution made available sooner to cover the gap?
So my conversations with Mark right now, and it's not related to the warming shelter specifically, but they are facing a situation related to their notice of funding that has come down from HUD. It normally is a 6-month window for their process to kick off, and that's been shortened to about a month to 6 week long process. So they are concerned with some capacity challenges to be able to pivot for such a short period of time.
So it doesn't
as
look
a
promising?
secondary.
Okay. Thanks.
Clerk White.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. The Fire Civil Service Commission will be holding open houses for potential firefighter candidates. We had one 2 weekends ago, and they are going to be having another one on December 20th, 2025, and also January 17th, 2026, both at 9 a.m. at the Northside Fire Station. If folks are interested in attending those open houses, they can certainly call or email the clerk's office, or there's a form online under the fire department that says fire job interest form, and folks can complete that, and it'll automatically come to the clerk's office, and we will reach out to them and give them all the specifics for the open houses. The agility exam is Saturday, January 31st, 2026 at 9 a.m. And the written exam is Thursday, February 26th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Again, on our website at morgantownwb.gov under Fire Department, there is a link to apply if folks would like to apply to become a firefighter. And we welcome anyone. The Police Civil Service Commission will be holding entry-level police officer exams, 4 of them in 2026. The first one is January 24th, and then April 25th, July 25th, and October 25th. Those are all Saturday, and they are at 9 a.m., and they will be at the Public Safety Building. Again, on our website at morgantownwb.gov, there is a link to apply under the Police Department. So if anyone has any information or would like to have information on either the Fire Civil Service Commission or the Police Civil Service Commission entry-level firefighter or police officer, please check out our website or call the clerk's office. And then lastly, Mayor, I know that you have some things you probably want to talk about Small Business Saturday, but I wanted to share that to make visiting downtown easier, the Morgantown Parking Authority will offer free parking from Thursday, November 27th through Sunday, November 30th, and again during the holiday season from December 20th through January 2nd. Dana McKenzie, Executive Director of the Morgantown Parking Authority, highlighted the city's commitment to supporting local businesses and holiday shoppers as well. And that concludes my report.
It's very exciting. Yeah. Hard to follow, Ryan, but you can try. City Attorney's report.
I'm not going to clear the free parking bar with the city attorney report. I'll just say we had a meeting of the West Virginia Municipal Attorneys Association today. Among other items, we got some updates on potential legislative items coming up for the next session through the Municipal League, just both items they anticipate may come up or items that the league may be pursuing. And I will communicate those to council as you work on your own priorities, and looking forward to your meeting with the local delegation on December 16th. We also received an invitation for cities to coordinate with the league and participate in their planning. We've identified on the staff side and also in the meetings with city council some items that are of statewide concern certainly, and that we would look to coordinate with the league and other municipalities on. So I will be communicating those as well. And of course, if you have questions about those or other items you want to bring forward, feel free to contact me anytime. I think that's all I have to report tonight.
All right, thank you. Councilor Abugano, would you like to start?
Sure. December 8th, Monday, is our First Ward Neighborhood Association meeting. I'm going to keep this brief since we'll be giving reports again next week. Quick, I would like to say, express my gratitude to my coworkers, Mr. Tallman, Nate Tallman, and Mr. Nate Hauser, and our students who were able to raise over 400 food items for our department food drive that we had right before we went on break. And if you have a young one in elementary school and you're looking for an activity, one of the things that I am appreciative to be able to offer our community is we offer free wrestling for those that are wanting to get their kids involved in a sport and be around a positive atmosphere for both guys and girls. And I think we had about 25 or 30 kindergarten through 5th grade kids that have been coming on Mondays and Thursdays from 5 to 6:15 to get them some activity and to get them out and engaging with other kids in a positive manner. And I will stop there.
Councilor Michael?
I wanted to announce that the Human Rights Award ceremony and reception will be held Sunday, December 7th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the All Center at 251 Spruce Street. That was the only announcement I had, but I would like to thank the Pantry Plus for the donations today. We were able to deliver a lot of food within the city, and I thank Jane Levere up in my ward, who also helped make sure that we fill the blessing boxes at all the churches on my ward. I think that's all I have. Oh, I also wanted to say thank you to everybody that reached out recently to say their condolences and stuff. That's all.
Councilor Hollingshead?
I don't want to harp on it too much because you're going to get 3 different reports about the National League of Cities City Summit Conference. But I did want to point out just a couple of things that were particularly moving and motivating for me. I attended several sessions at this conference in Salt Lake City about housing, and I'm super excited to bug staff about some of the ideas, and there's some really cool stuff happening around the country, both in attempts to solve homelessness and address that issue, but also more holistic approaches to our entire housing picture. And so I'm excited to really dig into that and learn more, as green as I am. I also attended a session about having productive conversations with people you know absolutely disagree with you. And that session was particularly impressive, as sitting in a room of elected officials from all across the country, all different political parties and views and values. It was particularly important to me to remember the part of my job is having those difficult conversations with people I know disagree with me. And I just wanted to mention that conversation. In the spirit of that, I wanted to mention our town hall that we had a couple weeks ago. Councilor Downs and Deputy Mayor Butcher and I held a town hall at Jean's, and it was a great jumping off point. And I just, again, in the spirit of having those conversations, I'm looking forward to having more of those town halls. It's going to be a great opportunity. Keep an eye out for more planned. I know the mayor's had an event I'm sure they'll mention, but keep an eye out for more of those town halls as an opportunity to engage with us. And also feel free to suggest, this is just out to the general public, please feel free to suggest meaningful ways for us to engage with you, how to come to you. Just on a personal note, Small Business Saturday is my favorite day of the year in downtown Morgantown. So please come hang out with us. And I think that will be all. Thank you.
Councilor Sling? I also attended the city summit. So this is the second of three reports. I appreciate very much when local governments have opportunities to see in person what's going on in their town, so they're calling them mobile workshops. And I appreciate it that our state is now, as at the last conference, promoting those, because you can see, you've traveled and you are somewhere else, and they have all sorts of interesting things going on. So it's wonderful to hear about water and utility issues, downtown, and different approaches to the arts. Talking about housing and having a continuum of options in the housing area, and just all the different ways that people, let's see, so some suggestions is really emphasizing pilot programs, which I think we do, but really emphasizing pilot programs, and so you can test out an idea before we go all in. Emphasizing, they were calling them streeteries, but outdoor dining, outdoor seating. Emphasizing human-centered design, so making sure that whatever we do to make improvements in our downtown or in our community or in our various business districts, that whatever we do is on a human scale and makes it comfortable for people to go within it. Having a lot of collection of data and surveys, which we have done some of and we could always do more of. They had some different suggestions about parking, different suggestions about how small ideas can be big. So making some of the small adjustments can make things feel more community-minded and more interesting to be in your downtown, and more welcoming. And just talking about, they were talking about parking authority and small businesses speaking together about how things could operate better. And then those quick wins, but also the longer term. So sometimes we think long term and we miss the quick wins. Sometimes we do the quick wins and we miss the long term. So anything that we can do to plan out those partnerships and different ways to accomplish what we need to get done. So I just think it's interesting to see what other cities are doing. So I appreciate the opportunity. Move on to the next person.
Thanks, Jenny. And I want to start by echoing Councilor Michael's congratulations to the city. Thanks to the Human Rights Commission for their hard work on the Municipal Equality Index. Achieving a top 10 score nationally in the U.S. is no small task. But this isn't the end of anything, it's an indication we're moving in the right direction, right? So I want us to continue to try to work to drive engagement and amplify voices in the community, work harder to listen to ideas and complaints with openness and fairness, and build trust by fostering a culture of respect in city operations and how we work with our constituents. There's also an important economic development side to this as well that the chair of the HRC and I discussed. Cities that build a reputation for fairness, respect, and inclusion are cities that people want to live in. People want to visit. They retain residents, students, and graduates, draw employers and entrepreneurs, and create the kind of environment where people feel comfortable having families, investing, starting businesses, buying homes, and building their lives. And we want Morgantown to be that city. So we're on our way, but we've got lots of work to do to achieve our shared vision. So there's that. I also want to acknowledge the passing of Councilor Michael's sister. Condolences again. I also want to acknowledge the passing of a dear friend of mine, Mr. Philip Weiser, passed away this weekend. Many of you knew him.
Yeah.
He was the founder of March Weston and one of the smartest, hardest working, quirkiest, coolest people I've ever known. I will miss him dearly. He did so many great things for Morgantown. He believed we could be the greatest city in the world. He said it many, many times, and worked to achieve that at great expense to himself. So let's work to honor him by working to deliver on his dream for our city. The final, well, two other things. Greenmont meeting on December 2nd. I'm pointing that out because thanks. And I'm pointing that out because there's a discussion of neighborhood businesses. Enabling neighborhood business is a priority for me. It's a priority for the Greenmont Neighborhood Association. We've got many vibrant, thriving businesses in Greenmont: Jeans, Madeline Marie's, Phoenix Bakery, Chestnut Brew Works, to name a few. And the neighborhood wants more of that. They want to make it easier rather than harder. It creates a cooler community that attracts people. So I'm going to be out of the country. I'm going to be out of town. So I want to thank Mayor Trumbull and Director Yeager for agreeing to attend that meeting on behalf of the city and engage the neighborhood on how we can do that thoughtfully and in a way that they're on board with. So I appreciate that. And then finally, I want to acknowledge former Councilor Bain and Magistrate Bain. Thanks for being here. We talked a little bit beforehand. It's your first time back in City Hall since you left, right? So, thank you, Ron.
He should get a tour. We gave him such a short meeting, so good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge just give my appreciation as well for the MEI score and the work that went into that. So appreciation to the HRC for ensuring that we got high marks again. The only other thing I want to mention is, yeah, we did do those 2 different town halls. I think there were similar themes kind of throughout both of them in some ways. And then different things came up as well. I think Danielle and I both didn't necessarily want to have like a structured conversation, but everybody who was there wanted us to have a structured conversation, so we ended up doing a structured conversation with the folks there. But a lot of the issues that came up were, I think a lot of people are very interested to know, and I also attended the Leadership Mon session that was with the city, and so that was kind of an open forum as well for people to ask about stuff with the city. And something I consistently heard was, what's your vision for this city? And what is the city's vision? What is the city's big projects that are coming up? And so I think a lot of people want and desire to understand and be involved in kind of the way that our city moves forward. And so that's the biggest thing I took away from all three of those things that we're kind of engaging with the public, is that it's not so much even necessarily, what about this issue or this issue, which does come up, but the thing that was pervasive through all three of them was that people really want to have a clear understanding of what our direction is and to have a say in it. And I think that that's great, that the people that are coming out there that, want to be civically engaged in that way. So we should give them tools and opportunities to do that. But that will conclude my report. Thank you.
Yeah, in addition to the town hall that Deputy Mayor Butcher and I held last night, I also, since we've met, seems like it's been forever since we met, I did a presentation and question and answer town hall kind of style with the WVU Student Government Association, which was a very interesting experience. I had attended a meeting or two of theirs in the past, but being a presenter and getting peppered with questions from students was interesting. They were definitely engaged on safety issues with UPD and MPD. They were engaged on parking issues. They wanted to hear a lot about our recreation and our sustainability. Really, a lot of the same things that residents who showed up to the town halls wanted to talk about. So I look forward to more opportunities to engage like that. I got a few applications for boards and commissions out of some of the student leadership, so hopefully we can get a few of those placed in the near future and start hearing more from them. I believe that their safety committee will be presenting at our next meeting on the safety walk that many of us participated in or have participated in the past. Since we last met, I also attended the West Virginia Food for All Summit, a gathering of some legislators. Senator Oliverio was there with me. I believe we were the two elected officials that were there, but a lot of nonprofits and advocates were in attendance talking about food justice and food access and food legislation. So very interesting. A couple of good ideas came out of that I would like to follow up on with a couple of our local nonprofits and definitely share more as those things develop. Yeah, and I'll see. We were in Salt Lake City, as they said. I won't go into a lot of detail. I usually put together a little bit more on social media and go into more detail, but as Councilor Hollings had said, I noted that a recurring theme, a thread throughout that conference was positive disagreements and how to engage with folks who don't agree with you. I found a lot of that stuff a good reminder, I would say. Like maybe they didn't teach me a whole lot about here's how to not yell at someone, but it's a good reminder that we treat everyone with dignity and everyone's opinion is their opinion and you get nothing out of just arguing with people. So I really appreciated those sessions, but also did a couple of solution sessions, deep dives on zoning reform, see Ricky, and homelessness and housing ideas. And one of the most interesting that I attended was spaces and places and how they affect residents' well-being. I'm on that Federal Advocacy Committee for Human Development, and they give us like, you should follow this track, and a lot of it was like housing and zoning and things like that. But I have a lot of interests, and because of Bow Park, I decided to go to the Spaces and Places and got some very good engagement from the city of Boulder, there were a lot of good ones, the city of San Francisco, some of their nature play, how to connect youth to nature was very interesting to me. I'm gonna start looking either at Bow Park or maybe some of the work that we're doing, Councilor Downs, down along Deckers Creek with some nature playground ideas. I think they would be very interesting. It is fun to see what other cities do, and sometimes that's something as silly as lights and trees, and I like to thank the city manager for working on that for us. The three of us were walking back from dinner one night and said, doesn't that look festive? Why can't we do that? And we contacted the staff, and we're gonna work on it a little. We'll start small, but I'm very excited. We're also going to be putting together, Councilor Downs and I will spend tomorrow evening making a lighted photo op for downtown, maybe to place in front of the Warner Theater, hopefully draw some extra folks downtown to a slightly more festive area. Christmas lights are my favorite part of the holiday season. I don't have many favorites. Lights are one of them. So in that vein, the Woodburn Association of Neighbors is also going to host a light competition, a home decorating competition for the season. I believe they are putting more information about that out on social media in the next day or two, but just kind of trying to encourage people to get a little festive and maybe win a gift card to Monkey Wrench Books or Poor Choices. So we're very excited about that. The only other thing I wanted to share was about Small Business Saturday, and it's already come up. There will be free parking. I will be doing I thought just a proclamation, but as of this afternoon, we're apparently cutting the ribbon on the holiday shopping season through the Morgantown Area Partnership. But I'm told maybe Santa and Mrs. Claus will be holding the ribbon to kick off their engagement for the day. They will be at the retail lab taking free photos with anyone wishing to take a photo, which is definitely me and probably Councilor Hollingshead. So if you wish to come for the ribbon cutting, be there at 11.
I'll be there.
Anyone else is also welcome to join us Saturday at 11 a.m. for the ribbon cutting. That's all I had. Is there?
Can I make one lighting comment?
Sure.
So,
Jenny wants no fault in this.
we have had over the years concerns from the tree board about downtown lighting. And so I was refreshing myself as I was discussing how great it would be to have downtown lighting, and I would like to see downtown lighting. But if you sort of look over suggestions for preserving trees in downtown lighting, they talk about the ways that the lighting is put up and the ways that it's clipped or not clipped, or how it is safely put on but not damage the trees. And also the popularity of LED is better for trees because they're cooler and they don't cause the trees to come out of dormancy prematurely and so on. So whatever we can do in this year of the pilot of some lit trees downtown, whatever we can do to be nice to the trees will help the program to continue into the future and the trees to survive.
Certainly.
And also the shortness of the season is also a benefit, although I think people need a certain amount of light this time of year, and so we don't want to cut it too short too quickly, but I would definitely get them down at a reasonable time.
The overly encouragement of not leaving them up so the tree doesn't grow into them and die.
Say that one more time?
The concern was that the lights kill the trees because they don't take them down on time.
Right,
and they grow
yes.
into them.
So if there's a definite time every year that we take them down and that it's
Yes.
done, that's great.
And so I will share with you, we had good conversations with staff. Marchetta has reached out to the tree board today, or was planning
Good.
to reach out by the end of the day today to make sure that we were communicating clearly with that board of what was coming, no surprises. And Damien, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what we're looking at now, what will be at the base of the trunk is almost a mesh of lighting as opposed to a roped
Right,
So,
right.
and it has some flexible give to it, and so combining the LEDs, the flexibility of it, not leaving it up, we are trying to be very mindful of some of those concerns that have occurred in the past, but still being able to provide some decoration. So certainly appreciate the, you may see if we have a new tree pop up, right, as trees are in their first growing stage, we likely will not wrap those
Yeah, they
trees.
said
And
not,
So,
no young trees.
yes, so trying to be thoughtful about how we proceed in that, but still able to execute.
Thank you for
Most
that.
other cities figure this out. I am confident that we can do it.
Yes.
And thank you, thank you. A little bit of magic goes a long way.
If there's nothing else, we have a couple of executive sessions on the agenda. Is there someone willing to put us into executive session?
I would move that we move into executive session for discussion of pending or potential litigation under West Virginia State Code 6-9A4B12, legal advice regarding operations and procedures of city boards and commissions under West Virginia Code 6-9A4B12, and discussion of matters affecting the acquisition or development of real estate in the area of Pennsylvania Avenue and Duckers Creek Boulevard under West Virginia State Code 6-9A4B9.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
We will take a short recess while we get situated and move into executive session.